There is a specific kind of exhaustion that hits people in spiritual leadership. It's the quiet, constant fatigue of feeling completely dry, waking up every day realizing you must find enough water just to keep your faith alive. Over time, that chronic thirst breeds a toxic psychology. It results in deep burnout, a paralyzing fear of failing, and a quiet jealousy whenever you see a peer succeed. This occurs when leaders identify as consumers. We act like trees planted by a river, standing still and waiting for the water to come to us so we can produce our own personal harvest. When every leader operates like a thirsty tree, the environment becomes competitive. You start guarding your resources, fearing that if someone else's branches grow too wide, they will block your sunlight and take your water. Seeking spiritual fulfillment purely to sustain your own roots creates a closed loop. It places a hard limit on your potential and guarantees eventual exhaustion. We have to consider whether the point of spiritual filling is about personal sustenance at all. It may be about a total shift in how we function within the environment. Ancient texts describe a different mechanism. Spiritual filling begins within the individual and flows outward. Mature leadership requires moving beyond the role of the tree waiting on the bank. You function as the source of the river itself. This is the first stage of spiritual evolution: water. This represents the structural foundation of life-giving infrastructure, shifting from a consumer of resources to the one who provides them. Look at the Nile River. Egypt receives virtually no rainfall. An entire civilization survives because this massive body of water flows through a barren landscape. Spiritual anointing creates the same kind of infrastructure. You become the hidden source of vitality that allows other people to plant their roots, grow, and bear fruit. This new identity removes the need for jealousy. As a provider of the water, you celebrate when the people you support outshine and outgrow you. At the water stage, your success is no longer tied to your own harvest. It is measured by the volume of growth you facilitate in the community around you. To sustain an ecosystem long-term, you must move into the second stage, milk. This is the intentional, nutrient-dense development of the people you lead. This requires the total removal of toxic behaviors. You cannot provide nourishment if your system is contaminated by slander, gossip, or the professional sabotage of your peers. Your communication transforms into constructive milk and honey. You use your words to provide prophetic, targeted encouragement that builds others up. Think of your counsel as nutritional packets sent through a network. Providing strategic support fuels a struggling leader's growth directly. As surrounding leaders absorb this provision, they expand, creating a robust network grid that naturally supports the central node, protecting the provider from isolation. The milk stage acts as the nutritional engine of this entire system, turning communication into a tool for communal prosperity. There is a high cost to becoming a river. Choosing this role guarantees you will face disproportionate exhaustion, betrayal, and massive obstacles. You will pour years into people only to watch them walk away. You will see character assassination in the shadows and watch the human-built pillars of trust collapse around you. When the infrastructure is damaged by these attacks, how do you keep the river flowing? How do you prevent the provider from simply shutting down? The natural response to trauma is to revert to a consumer mindset. Survival in leadership requires a supernatural intervention to protect the internal structure. This brings us to the final survival mechanism, wine. This stage is designed to protect the mind when the work becomes painful. In the ancient world, wine served as a critical anesthetic. It was given to those in physical agony or deep psychological distress to help them endure heavy burdens. The wine of the spirit acts as an emotional anesthetic. It allows leaders to forget past betrayals and release grudges that would otherwise clog the river and stop the flow of water. It also functions as liquid courage. It provides a boldness that shatters the stone barriers of logic and fear, allowing you to take the massive leaps of faith required to lead. True spiritual anointing is an architecture of resilience. It begins with the foundational hydration of the soul, moves into the nutritional provision for others, and concludes with the joyful, fearless endurance required to lead in a broken world.